Aloha from the Ozarks. Folks, I want to answer a question for you that you probably are going to ask me at some point if you haven't thought of it already, and that is, what are the interior dimensions of my building? Well, the answer to that is quite simple. It depends. Sorry that I don't have a simple, easy answer. It really does depend, but for the most part, let me explain something that's standard for everything. I'm going to turn the camera around and point it out to you. Just a second here. Okay, we measure our buildings from eave to eave, all the way across. Okay, so here's a building right here. You got this eave that overhangs, right? And we measure it from eave to eave per Department of Transportation requirements for us driving down the road. So when we say it's 16 by 40, we mean that is 16 wide right there, from that eave all the way across to the other eave. And we mean that it is 40 long from that eave all the way down to there. That's the exterior dimension. So what are your interior dimensions? All right, so you got to understand that eave overhangs probably about 4.5, maybe 5 inches. So if you assume about 4.5 on this side, 4.5 on that side, what's that, 9 inches, right? So you've already lost 9 inches of your interior width just from the eave that overhangs. Plus, let's go inside and I'll talk to you about it. Then you've got your interior wall width. So you've already lost about 9 inches or so. Then you've got a 2x4 here, right? And so you got to keep that in mind for your interior width. This building, for example, is a 16 by 40 building, and I just took my tape measure and I measured across from that corner all the way to that corner, and we are at about almost 14.6, very, very close to 14 feet and 6. So you lose about 1.5 feet of your width. Keep that in mind. So when it says 16 by 40, that's the exterior. Inside, you lose about 1.5 feet, so you got about a 14.5 foot interior width. Now on your length, you won't lose as much because there's not an eave that overhangs, okay? So you're going to just lose the width of your wall. So you got a 5/8 inch thick plywood plus your 2x4, so you're going to lose maybe 8 or 9 inches of total length. So, for example, in this building, it's 40 feet long. You've got just around 39 feet of interior length. I hope that helps to answer your question. You've got to keep in mind, we measure it from the exterior, we measure it from outside eave to eave, and you've got to keep in mind the thickness of the walls, okay? I hope that answers your questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to message me right here on Facebook. Aloha from the Ozarks.